And I heard it today. I'm going to say this as in the final few minutes. We've got a few more minutes to go. Is the game over yet, Will?
Yes,
Giants?
Yes. The
31.
Giants won.
Okay, the G-Men won. Okay. All right. Heard it some more today from some colleagues at UH practice, um, asking some of the players about being number one in the poll, being number one in the AP poll, coaches poll, blah, blah, blah. And the players gave good answers today. We're not really harping on that. It's not, we're still going to play hard regardless. We know we're going to get the other team's A game, so it's not a big deal to us. And I think Jarris Walker said, being number one in January, it's nice, but I want to be number one. It counts at the end of the season. That's when I want to be number one. And I'm like, thank you. I don't understand why my colleagues will. You're in the business of it. I understand it from the school perspective
Mm-hmm.
because it's marketing, promotion. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
From media, I don't care
Yep.
where you're ranked in January.
Yep.
I don't care where you're ranked in November. Especially in the AP poll, the coaches poll, where some coaches they don't even vote. They
Right.
got someone on staff to do the voting for them.
Yep.
Okay, so that's how much time they put into it. If any ranking that I do care about is the net ranking, because that's one of the things that the NCAA committee uses, or KenPom, one of those metric rankings. I don't care about the AP poll. I don't care about the coaches poll.
Yep.
Andy, I think Andy's come around to my thinking a little bit, but I'm not sure. Just what are your thoughts on it? Because you could guess which colleagues I'm talking about. Ask the questions about, and it was a lot because I think Jarris, Terrence, and Emmanuel Sharp spoke to after practice today, and each of them was asked about
All the freshmen?
what if I thought about being ranked number one. My eyes rolled in my head. I was like, oh my god, really? Who
No, I
cares?
agree. And if we're thinking of the same person, I think the reason that's because it does make for a good soundbite for television. But no, like you said, at this point, and I think something was said after one of the Let's Reach Cougs. I think it was after they had beaten Cincinnati a week ago. Like it's a good badge of honor to have right now. It's just, I mean, that's really what it is. It's not like if Houston can be the number one team in both polls for a certain amount of time, they're guaranteed to have a one seed or they'll have a first round bye or anything like that. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter until, like you said, comes that final AP poll in April. If they're still number one in that poll, then that's going to mean that they won the national championship, and that's going to be an exciting thing. That's when it'll matter. That's when it'll
Yes.
be, hey, you're the number one team. You were able to prove it against the gauntlet in the NCAA tournament. And like D Skill said, no, like absolutely that those questions, whatever they say, it's good for soundbite purposes, but at the end of the day, at this point, it doesn't really matter. I mean, for all you know, come tomorrow, they're not going to be number one just because they struggled against South Florida and Kansas was been able to continue to stay undefeated in the Big 12. So
Exactly. Another
it
point.
doesn't matter. Like, and Houston, it's not because Houston lost. It's just because Kansas, again, from a media perspective, has the better story. They have the subjective better schedule, tougher schedule, this and that. Again, it's not like going to be if they're able to have the number one seed for or not the number one ranking for specific amounts. They're guaranteed a bye or the number one seed or anything like that. So, like you said, it doesn't matter.
And that scenario was discussed, Will, today
Yep.
at practice.
I agree. And that's what I agree with Skills. That's really what I was thinking. It's content. It's content. It's January 15th. We're 8 weeks away from Selection Sunday.
Hmm.
What's there to talk about? So, but I also I saw something earlier today. And I encourage you guys to take a look at it and our viewers as well. Kara Lawson had a post on her Twitter feed. Head coach at Duke.
At Duke. Yep.
Yeah,
Hmm.
head coach at Duke. Kara Lawson had a soundbite from her media availability. I'm not sure when it was, fairly recent it seems, but she talked about chasing exactly this: chasing rankings, chasing polls, and she said we're chasing winning. She said, and one of the things she said that
Hmm.
stuck out to me, and I encourage you guys to take a look at it. She said, "I've never seen the little number on the left side of your name score any points."
Yes.
I'm like, she's so right.
Yep.
She's so right. And by the way, they're 16-1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Duke is 5-0 in the ACC. So and that's so true. There's 68 teams that get invited to the NCAA March basketball tournament, not just the number one team.
Right. Oh, I
Not,
get it.
I mean,
You,
I know
yeah,
you get
you
it.
guys know it,
Yeah,
and these skills knows,
yeah.
and I know why my colleagues do it. So clicks and all that. But like I said, from a school perspective, it's good for marketing, promotions. Hey, we're number one. And the funny thing is,
For introduction perspective, it's pretty good to toss in there too when they're
and
doing
for
starting
for
lineup.
ESPN, hey, tune in. We got the number one team in the country playing tonight on our channel. Hey, I get all that.
Yep.
But why don't the Cougs, for example, say they're the number one team in the net?
Who knows? Who knows what the net is? We know.
More
Right.
diehard basketball followers and median fans.
Well, but see, then I think the school should do a better job because that's more important to the committee is the net and the Ken Palm and some of these predictive other rankings, not the coaches poll,
Yep.
because it was discussed that don't be shocked if KU moves to number one tomorrow and the Cougs go to number two because KU edged Iowa State in Big 12 play and the Cougs, are in the American.
And Kansas wasn't too far behind to begin with.
Right. They were close in the total points.
Hmm.
And if that happens tomorrow, there'll be some UH fans being pissed off. Yeah, how dare they? We didn't lose. Oh. And you know what? Most likely they'll still be number one in the net. Okay. I mean, they still will be number one in the net. That's more important than the AP or the coaches poll. So I guess my part, Will, is if the schools don't start promoting the net ranking as being more important to the committee and then the fans won't ever learn how important it is to be ranked in the net
Yep.
rather than the AP or the coaches poll. Well, where were the Tar Heels ranked last year before the tournament?
It's a great question. I don't even know.
Thank you. And where did they end up?
Number two, runner up.
My point. But I understand it, media wise, click wise, all those things, and the fans they perpetuate it as well. And it's more of the average fan because the true basketball fans, those diehard fans, they've gotten more into the metrics in Ken Palm and the net rankings and all those numbers instead of the AP poll and the coaches poll. But let me step down from my soapbox and remind everyone that Andy Yanez predicted 4 conference wins for UH football
Oh no,
this
I'm gonna get
coming
cooked
season
again.
in 2023 as
I
of
said they
January
could.
15th. He said
Prediction,
4.
so,
Don't.
I'm gonna add a little asterisk, subject to change with more
Oh,
information as it becomes
of
available.
course. And like I said, it's January 15th. Once the schedule comes out, we're going to revisit this and we'll see if you change your prediction